How was the trip? I mean, you guys won the U.S. Open Cup, but then the league matches didn't really fall your way.
Matches didn't go the way we wanted them to go, for sure. The Open Cup was a great victory, and 12 days on the road. It's a reality. It's a long time. Being on the road and being in hotels and occupying your time, and you really couldn't train per se. But we're happy to be back at home. We're still in first place, and we need to hold on to that as we move forward. And we know the last two games are not reflective of what we're capable of.
How's Zach?
We'll know more after, he had a CT scan this morning, so we'll know more after that. And, CT, is that right? Or some scan? Yeah, he had a scan this morning, and doctors are looking at him, so we'll have a better idea. We think it's just jammed, just the way he came down on it. He got bumped in the air, and he landed on his heel. And he's got an ankle that's a little arthritic as it is, and it just jammed things up. So, I've got no timeline or anything like that at this point.
With these games being so close together, in some ways, does this feel like a fourth road game to a degree?
No, because it's different because we're at home. We're going to be in front of our fans. They're going to play a big role in this game tomorrow. Because their enthusiasm and being back home in front of them and being able to show them the trophy that we did win in Philly, I think are all going to be positive things for our team and are going to motivate our guys and get up. And so being at home, being in their own beds for the last two nights, being with their families, seeing their loved ones. A guy like Marco Papa hasn't been at home in like 25 days, so it's tough on some of the guys when all that travel comes in the middle of the season.
What kind of changes are you guys making on defense? You've allowed 7 goals in the last 2 games for 2 losses. So what are you guys doing on defense to adjust?
Defense is everybody. You win as a team, you score goals as a team, and you defend as a team. It's not just the 4 guys in the back or the goalkeeper or the 2 center backs or anybody like that. It's us as a team. And so as a team, I really didn't think we gave away that many chances in Dallas. They did a good job of converting their chances. We've talked about some of the things that as a team we need to do better, to make sure that those chances that they did get don't happen and that they can't convert them. So again, it was really a 2-1 game. The other goal came late, and we know we gotta tighten it up defensively, but it's a team effort for us defensively. It's not just the center backs or the outside backs or the goalkeeper. It's all the players.
This may be your last look ever at a team called Chivas USA, and while they're going out kind of badly on the field and in the stands, you were there for some glory days. The franchise had hopes for a while, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously they came in with a big drum roll when they came into the league, and everybody thought it was going to be a really, really good idea. And and then they had a good run, good period of time there with Preki primarily as their coach. Where they got in the playoffs on a pretty consistent basis, and they were a difficult team to play against. And even now, even where they are this season, I know people look at their records and all those things, but those teams are difficult as well because they're playing for their jobs. They're auditioning. Is the team going to go on a hiatus next year? So these guys are trying to press other coaches around the league because if they do go on a hiatus, where do those players go? How will they get dispersed? So there's still a lot of motivating factors for every player on their team as they step on the field, and maybe the cohesion as a team hasn't been all that they wanted it to be. But in terms of players and individuals being motivated, there's a lot of things that should motivate them.
Regardless of maybe where they land, in your mind, LA can support 2 teams?
It can, but I don't know if it can support 2 teams in a Home Depot. I think you got to have a little bit of its own identity, a little bit what's happening in New York, what they're trying to do with New York FC and then what they've got with Red Bull. And I think LA probably needs the same sort of thing. They need their own stadium, their own identity, their own brand, so to speak, and not this week it's our bench is on this side because we're playing at home, and next week our bench is on the other side because we're the away team to the Galaxy, and it'll give the Galaxy less home games too.
How does this tight schedule affect your lineup?
We'll see. We wanted to see how guys got through today. We'll check on some things and we'll come up with a lineup. But we know it's an important game for us on Saturday. We also know it's the light at the end of the tunnel, and then we get a break after this game. A break, meaning we go into a regular week-to-week schedule, and we can actually train a little bit and recover a little bit. So the guys are ready to go, and we'll put out the best team we can put on the field.
Any thoughts on Marco standing by his fellow countrymen and saying that he'll turn down any future call-ups by the national team?
Yeah, I don't know all the details of that. I mean, I think, from what I read, I think Carlos Ruiz is the head of it. They're really trying to establish a Guatemalan Players Association and get those guys some, rights or fair treatment or whatever they feel they're missing at this point. So, it's Marco's going to stand by, his fellow national team players, and he doesn't want to be an outlier and be the guy who doesn't support what they're trying to do. And so I think from that standpoint, it's a pretty understanding position.
Any clarity on an arrival time for your new defender?
We hope he should be here next week for training, yeah.
Lamar had said a couple weeks ago that he was kind of slumping a little bit. He scored a couple goals for you guys lately. Where do you think he's at in terms of his form?
Well, he scored a couple of highlight reel goals for sure, and those have been fantastic. I think obviously those goals help you in your confidence and coming back and making an impact. So I mean, even though he wasn't always starting for us, in some of those games, he still plays a lot of minutes for us in significant minutes. So he's an important part of our team going forward, and I'm really happy to see him get those goals, because that's going to help his confidence for sure.
Yeah, and having been in the league for a couple of years now, does that kind of help a guy kind of ride out those ebbs and flows a little bit of a season?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to keep the valleys relatively short and small and so forth, and get back to the peak as quickly as you can. And so for Lamar, I think the valleys maybe been a little longer, a little wider than he wanted it to be. And but he's getting goals like that get you back into a good frame of mind.
Great.
Thanks,
Okay.